Don't ask to be introduced to people who need what you do. Ask to be introduced to people who are the type of people you do it for. I want to talk to you about the number one most common technical mistake that salespeople make when they're asking for referrals. Now, when I say technical, I mean the mechanics of what you actually say and do. A lot of getting referrals is about mindset. It's about mentality. Some of the other videos that I have created talk about the mindset and the mentality of referrals, which is super, super important. I would encourage you to go watch those. But what I want to address here is the technical mistake, meaning this is the thing that salespeople say that is wrong. So even if they have the right mindset, when it actually comes to asking for referrals, this is what they do incorrectly or ineffectively. I guess who am I to say it's incorrect, but I'll say our experience shows that this is far, far less effective than the alternative, which I'm going to talk to you about. And I'm going to share with you the right way to do it as well. So first, let me tell you the wrong way and what most salespeople do when they ask for referrals. And this is the reason why it doesn't work. What most sales people do whenever they're going to ask for a referral is they ask to be introduced to someone who needs what they do. Okay, so this is the mistake. Most salespeople ask their friends and family and customers and colleagues, whatever, their network, whoever they're asking, and they ask to be introduced to people who need what they do. And so it sounds something like this. If I was a real estate agent, it might sound something like, hey, do you know anybody who is looking to sell their house right now? Right? And that's what they might say. If I was selling cars, it would be like, hey, do you know anyone who's looking to buy a car right now? When I was in college, I sold books door to door in my summers. And so it'd be like, hey, do you know anybody who's really looking for, books, who loves books for their kids? And that's what most salespeople do. You can apply this to anybody. And most of us as sales professionals, as in business development, we even think that way. We even think, I need to find people who are looking to invest their money. And this is a faulty belief. It's faulty in the fact that it's limiting, it's restricting, both for you as the sales professional or the business development or the entrepreneur, but also in the minds of the people that you're asking for referrals from, because that's an incredibly specific thing that you're asking for. If you were asking me for referrals here, you're asking me to assess the interests of the people that I know. And that's incredibly difficult. Like, not only do I have to think about everybody I know, I have to think about who do I know and what do they like and what do they need right now. And I don't even know that information. And so it makes it very hard for me to recall and provide names to you, even if I wanted to. It makes it difficult because it's like, heck, I don't know who reads books in their house. Like, that's never come up in conversation. I don't know who's trying to buy or sell. I mean, a lot of my deepest relationships, it's like, I might have not even talked to them in a couple of months. And so that's the mistake that most salespeople ask, is they ask to be referred to people who need what they do. And it's restricting. What you want to do, okay, and here's the secret. Don't ask to be introduced to people who need what you do. Ask to be introduced to people who are the type of people you do it for. Don't ask to be introduced to people who need what you do. Ask to be introduced to people who you do it for. That's the big idea, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to shortcut to the sale too quickly. We're trying to go, who do you know that's ready to buy? That's not the right way of thinking. You don't need necessarily to be introduced to people who are ready to buy what you have. I mean, that's great if that happens, but what you really need is you just need to be introduced to people. And when you have that mindset, I'm not asking you to do my job for me. I'm not asking you to figure out who's ready to buy. That's not your job. That's my job. My job as the sales professional is to figure out who is in the market and who isn't, and to build a relationship, because everyone is in the market at some point for a lot of different products. I mean, maybe not buying private jets, but for buying a home, buying a car, buying books, like for just about everything, people at some point come in the market. So I'm not asking you to do my job of figuring out who's in the market right now. That's my job. All I'm asking for from you is to introduce me to cool people who are like the people I do it for. I will contact them and I will figure out if it's a good fit right now. And so this is part of how you take the pressure off the people you're asking for referrals from. Look, if you ask me for referrals, it puts pressure on me to feel like I have to tell you who I know that would buy from you. That's incredibly awkward and creates pressure. But if you're just asking for me to introduce you to people that I know, that's no problem. I would do that for anybody. Like, that's not a big deal. And that's how it needs to be. Your job is to contact them and build a relationship and find out if they're interested. That's not my job. That's your job. So don't ask to be introduced to people who need what you do. Ask to be introduced to people who are the type of people who you do it for, or whom you do it for. So I wouldn't say, hey, who do you know that's looking to buy a car right now? What I would say is, I want to know the psychographics and the demographics of the kind of people that buy a car. So if I sell Lexuses, which is a high-end car, or if I'm a real estate agent and I deal with high net worth individual, or if I sell lower income homes, or if I sell lower income cars, it doesn't matter. All I'm going to do is, if it's higher net worth people, I'm going to say, hey, would you ever be open to introducing me to your doctor? Right? Because why? Because doctors traditionally have more money. Would you be ever open to introducing me to your lawyer? Would you ever be open to introducing me to the entrepreneurs that you know? Right? Now I can immediately recall people in my mind. I have no idea if they want to buy a car, but that's not my problem. That's your problem. And your problem is, if you make it my problem, I won't be able to come up with any names for you. And you're going to create tension and awkwardness and pressure on me, and therefore the relationship that you have with me. Don't ask to be introduced to people who need what you do. Ask to be introduced to the type of people who are who you do it for. If you do that, I promise you'll start generating lots more referrals, lots more introductions, lots more relationships, and out of that will come a lot more money.